EA Sports have dropped a new trailer for FC24 and also shown us the Ultimate Edition cover. Now, I used to be a marketing employee in the FIFA team, or the FC team as it would now be called, but I was on there from FIFA 12 to FIFA 16. So I have launched, I think, about like 5 or 6 FIFA titles, EA Sports titles. And, you know, I am a content creator now, but one thing I do love to talk about is more of the business side of FIFA and what goes on behind the scenes. So I'm going to react to the trailer, break down the trailer, also talk about things you might not have noticed or might not have thought about with the cover reveal and this trailer. So we'll get right into it. This will just be a longer video. I haven't done a long video in a while, so bear with me. The first thing you'll notice about this trailer is that this is going to be a theme throughout the entire marketing campaign for FC24, is that EA is trying to show you that they have enough licenses, player names, teams, you name it. They've got enough to show you that they don't need the FIFA name. They don't need the FIFA license. What a lot of people don't realize is that the FIFA license only really gives you the name FIFA and the FIFA World Cup. Everything else is kind of decided directly with the leagues, the clubs, the players. For instance, if you get the Premier League, you get all the teams in the Premier League. You know, you have the FIFA Pro license, which is separate from FIFA, but then you can use the player names and likenesses. So this kind of shows you what they're going for. Of course, women are also involved in this very heavily. I'll talk about that in a second, but they're trying to hit as many clubs as possible. You see Newcastle, Lyon, Liverpool, Spurs, Juventus, PSG, you name it. They're trying to show you this is the exact same theme, I promise you, you will see for the rest of the campaign. And you're going to see a lot of them talk about, for instance, if you go to the website, they're going to always number how many leagues, how many teams that they have. 19,000 licensed players, 700 teams, 30 leagues. Again, what the issue will be for them is that, you know, if a casual goes into the store and they ask for FIFA, you know, they'll be confused. But if they can, first of all, get the name out, FC24, as soon as possible, football club, and also prove to you that, hey, this is where all the players, your favorite team is here, your favorite player, Holland is here, XYZ. This is what they're going to try and tell you throughout the entire marketing campaign. So that's the first thing. I will talk about the cover real quick, actually, because the cover also shows how many players and different clubs they're going to be, and also shows something that a lot of people have not talked about. I think I might be the first to talk about it here, but let me know if I'm wrong. But first thing you need to know about the player faces, this is not what they're going to look like in game, 100%. Trust me on this. This is more of a, the cover is always more a cinematic. Like, the cover is usually never done in-house at EA, to be honest with you. Usually it's somebody external. So this is, think of this as just like renders, essentially cinematic renders. Kind of like how in the trailer, you can see here that it says at the start that this is, it says like it's cinematic or something like that. Not actual gameplay footage, footage rendered with the Frostbite engine. So think of it as a cutscene, and I believe this is the same thing. In fact, I pretty much confirmed that it is. So in game, I don't think they're gonna change anything from last year. The same, they're gonna use the same face scans, maybe improve on them. So do not worry about this. I know this is getting memed a lot, but do not worry about this. But one thing I will talk about here is that, and shout out to my friend Golden Bear in the community who pointed this out to me, is that in this, you see a lot of icons, right? But you see a lot of icons at their old club kits. So you see Drogba's there in Chelsea, Riquelme's there at Boca Juniors, PSG with Ronaldinho, Pele has the Brazil kit, Beckham's in the England kit, which is very interesting because usually when it comes to an icon reveal, if you look back at all the icon reveals, they're always done with the players in the icon kit. So if I go back, like say like FIFA 18 icons, that was like a crazy trailer, right? Like icon stories. If you see all this, it's always the icon kit, just like this. This was a sick trailer, by the way. Because when they have the icon kit, there's no branding. So usually when it comes to licensing, it's kind of difficult to get a licensing deal done with, like, let's say Henry, right? You would have to talk to Henry, you have to talk to Arsenal, you'd have to talk to Barcelona. Maybe Arsenal and Barcelona, you know, Arsenal only wants Henry to show up in Arsenal, Barcelona only wants Henry to show up in Barcelona. So it's rare, it's difficult. It's not impossible, but it's quite difficult. And you probably have to throw a lot of money around. The only exception is when Beckham had we had the Beckham FIFA 21 Ultimate Edition, or was the Beckham Edition, right? And he was at Real Madrid on the card. He wasn't even in Real Madrid on the cover, but at least he was in Real Madrid on the item, right? So with someone like Beckham, I mean, that's such a huge name that you're going to want it to happen, right? But it does take quite a lot of effort to get it done. But what this tells me is that EA are going all out in marketing, and they're going to put in all the effort to get these icons and these clubs involved. So they're probably going to be paying, the club partnerships are probably going to be worth a lot more than they used to be, because again, EA is starting a brand from scratch. So they need to get everybody involved as much as possible. So I think we're going to see a lot more crazy collaborations and partnerships. And this is why I'm excited for FC24 in particular, because now that they do not have the FIFA license, they have a lot more freedom to do what they want to do in promotions. Kind of like how Fortnite can collab with anybody, Marvel, John Wick, X-Men, or, you know, I forgot what other ones, Travis Scott, things like that. EA kind of has more license. EA does have more freedom to do this now, because when you're with FIFA has certain partnerships, right? So you can't really contradict those partnerships. So if FIFA is with Adidas, for instance, and if you're EA, you cannot work with Nike. But I believe Nike already even announced that they are part of the FC24 ecosystem. So you can already tell that EA is getting as many partnerships ready. So this opens up like amazing opportunities, because if you look at like, let me look up like Fortnite collaborations. Like if you look up like all the Fortnite collaborations, Travis Scott, Marshmallow, so you can see things like this with EA. Not necessarily this crazy, but it could be really cool. You can see Ronaldinho with Jordan brand. You can see, I don't know, maybe there's like a Naruto. I mean, I don't go as crazy as like a Naruto card, but you know, a Naruto kit. It could be like a signature Didier Drogba Chelsea item that only links up with other Chelsea items, things like that. So now, in my opinion, marketing, you know, as someone that's worked in the marketing team, I do trust the marketing team. Like you could say whatever you want about the gameplay of FIFA over the years. I don't think the gameplay has been that good, to be honest with you, since FIFA 18. That's the last FIFA gameplay I enjoyed. But the marketing team delivers 10 out of 10, man. I've been part of that cycle. The marketing team always delivers. They always deliver. The trailer's always top notch. You wouldn't believe the amount of research goes into making the right trailer. Like I don't know if you remember the FIFA 15 Feel the Game trailer. This is still my favorite trailer of all time, because I saw this trailer, the process it took. This trailer took like a year to make, no joke. This is always forever be my favorite FIFA trailer. I saw this from start to finish. It took about a year to make, from concept to finish. And the marketing team, I trust them. And I feel like FC24 is going to rely a lot on the partnerships and the marketing. I mean, I personally have not played FC24 yet. Hopefully I will play it soon, but I don't mean this in a negative way. I don't expect the gameplay to be crazy different, because they would have to completely redo they'll completely have to redo the engine from scratch if you want it to be very different, right? But as you can see on the, I think even on the cover, you can see like Hypermotion V, I want to say. So they're probably going to add a layer of Hypermotion onto what is already there. But partnerships and marketing, I think, are what are going to drive this team. I mean, going to drive this game, because again, this is the most necessary part of the launch and the year, because again, this is a brand new brand name, FC24. Another thing to notice is that there's probably going to be female icons. You can see this is Mia Hamm, Alex Scott. These two players have retired. So potentially this could be an icon and a hero. So it could be really interesting. And one thing to point out in this trailer is that, you know, we have heard a lot of rumors about, you know, women players being able to play against male players. And I believe in this trailer, it pretty much confirms it, in my opinion, because in this scene, this is kind of what the story they're trying to tell, is that, look, you see the female players, you see Marta walking out with Holland. You see, I think Trinity Rodman was there already, walking out with Son. So you see men and women walking alongside each other to the pitch. So I think that's EA trying to tell us that, yes, you are probably going to be able to play female players and male players, professional players, on the same pitch. Of course, we have had that in pro clubs, but this is the first time that professional players, IRL players, are able to play against each other. And that is actually one of the limitations that FIFA brought to EA, I do believe, because again, FIFA kind of has like a veto power on certain things that can happen in the game. For instance, I don't believe that they did want to have male and female players play against each other competitively, but now that there's no FIFA license, EA can pretty much do what they want. I personally don't have a problem with it because it's a video game. I understand some people do have an issue with it. I can understand the argument in terms of realism, if that's what people want, because some people just like realism. That's cool. I don't think people should be absolutely like branded something that they're not because of that. Some people are being a bit too problematic about it, but I personally don't really care. It's pixels on a screen to me. But one thing I will say is that this is probably, let's say if female players are an Ultimate Team, I might make a separate video about this, but that's probably one of the biggest things to ever happen in terms of women's football marketing, in my opinion, in terms of name recognition. I do believe, though, that the only legit argument against women potentially being an Ultimate Team is that maybe there'll be even more pack fillers. Like, let's see what the ratings are like. Like, if there's a lot of low-rated goals, then that maybe messes up the packs. That's a legit argument. Other than that, I personally do not care whatsoever. And one thing you'll notice is, I think this is probably the last thing I'll talk about. Hope you enjoyed this video, by the way. And I'll do more kind of breakdown videos about like what it's like to, things that I noticed as a former employee that you might not see. Holland is front and center, of course, in this trailer. You see the solo shot. These kind of solo shots are never by mistake, all right? These things are broken down particularly depending on like what kind of agreements they have with certain players, certain clubs, certain licenses. So when you see like a hero shot like this with a player like himself, like a player by himself, they probably have some kind of deal with that player, right? So when you look at the cover, who is front and center? Erling Haaland right in the middle. That is not a mistake whatsoever. The players in the middle are probably going to be the cover stars. I mean, a lot of these guys will be ambassadors. I would say Erling Haaland is probably going to be the cover star for the next 2-3 years. I think, they hit it at the right time. They got Haaland at the right time because obviously he just won the treble. But I've seen a lot of people say that, the reason why Mbappe is not on the cover anymore is because he might leave PSG. That's usually not an issue. And I'll give you two examples of why club transfers are not really an issue. One of these examples is actually a transfer rumor that I don't think a lot of people know. And it wasn't very public at the time, but let me know if you heard about this. So, for instance, if you go back and look at the FIFA 19 cover, right? FIFA 19 cover, it was like Ronaldo. So if you look at this, let me just open this a bit bigger. We all remember that Ronaldo was on the cover of FIFA 18 and FIFA 19. So in FIFA 18, maybe most likely Ronaldo had a multi-year deal. That's what EA usually does for cover stars. They have multi-year deals if it's like a big name, right? So let's say he had a multi-year deal. And that would take him into FIFA 19. So FIFA 18 and FIFA 19. Then when FIFA 19 got announced, that was the summer that Ronaldo suddenly left Real Madrid, right? So all EA had to do was just Photoshop the cover. Like, they're okay with doing that. Like, if they want their guy, if there's a guy that they want as cover star, they'll usually be okay with a transfer rumor or two. Another example I'll show, and this is a crazy example, is I remember I was at EA and the first, wait, hold on, let me look. I think, FIFA 14 Bale cover, right? So if you remember, when FIFA 14 was first announced, it had Bale on the cover, right? It had Bale on the cover, and it was announced, boom. But then Bale had that big move to Real Madrid. And I remember us having, at the time, the second cover just ready and waiting just in case, because they were like, Bale's team was like, hey, he might be going somewhere, probably Real Madrid, so get that second cover ready. But what was crazy is that Bale's team at the time also told us, hey, you should also, just in case, get a Man United cover ready. And I was like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, just get a Man United cover ready. He might go to United. At that time, I don't think that was a very publicly known thing, but I believe he must have been pretty close to joining Man United, because for his team to tell us to get a United cover ready, I mean, what does that tell you, right? So again, EA already knows, I I would say, like, for the most part, they usually know who they want to get for the cover months to maybe a year in advance. Sometimes a bit more sudden. Like the Ronaldo one, I think was actually a bit shorter time frame. I do know the story about how it happened. It's not mine to tell, but most of the time they'll kind of know who they want, and they want somebody who's on the rise, right? So when they got Mbappe, FIFA 21 was it? Mbappe's on the rise. Haaland, I think, is the right guy to go for ahead of Mbappe because, with Mbappe, another reason why he might not be on the cover is because when he signed on 21, that could have been a 3-year deal, right? And then the deal is over, and then maybe they go back to Mbappe, renegotiate. I'm not saying that this happened, but maybe, Mbappe's name has blown up since FIFA 21, obviously. After this last World Cup that he was in, he had an amazing World Cup. He's probably the biggest name in world football after that World Cup. So he could have asked for double the price, and maybe EA's like, that's actually probably not worth it because we can get Erling Haaland for cheaper, and he's on the rise, and it looks like City is doing well, and then boom, City wins the treble anyway. They probably had him locked down before the treble, but they could have got him a bit sooner, but I think they kind of already had it in mind that this guy's the next guy. So the marketing team's always very good at noticing who the next up is. There's only a few times I feel like that maybe they didn't get the best hype option. FIFA 17 with Royce is an example. FIFA 20 with Hazard, you would have thought that Hazard would be the next big thing in Real Madrid, but it didn't work out, as we know. So that's what I noticed from the reveal trailer and the cover. Hopefully you guys enjoy this kind of video like this. I mean, I kind of enjoy talking about, again, the other side of FIFA and the football business. So let me know if you stayed till the end of the video. If you did, drop the word Bale in the comments so I know you stayed till the end. But again, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.